Hey YouTube, here's the results after port matching. It took quite a while to grind this out to match the port and sort of funnel it into a hole. 1/3 of the engine's energy, gasoline energy, goes out the exhaust on a typical engine, piston engine. They're not really efficient. 1/3 efficient. 1/3 goes to the flywheel to make the car move, and 1/3 goes out the exhaust, and 1/3 of the power energy goes out the radiator and just the fact the engine block gets hot and radiates heat on its own. So this should improve that. It just gives it a chance for the exhaust to get out. So I'm going to lose a third anyway. The idea is to not have to have the engine push it out, to have it just run out. Just pop it. So when the valve opens, here's my finger going through the valve seat area. There's a lot of energy left in it. So if you have a muffler leak or exhaust leak, you know how loud it gets, how loud motorcycles are, because they're exhaust. They have a lot of energy still left in them. So this is like a sort of a draft tube. It has a throat, sort of a circular throat, and then it funnels outward to a rectangle. That's the kind of thing that the Hoover Dam uses on their turbine outlets underwater, because the turbine outlet is below the river level. So when the water comes out of the Hoover Dam turbine, you might see a surface turbulence, but the water is being put through this shape. It starts off with a narrow throat and expands to basically a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, skinny vertical exhaust pipe outlet kind of thing. This isn't as severe as that, but it should improve the flow. The generator, so they use that as a draft, called a draft tube. It's basically negates the fact that the draft tube's underwater would normally have the weight of the river water, whatever depth it is, pushing against the outlet and decreasing efficiency. It compensates for that and throws the water out as if it was just going to plain air. That's the theory of it. So anyway, it's been around since 1935, the idea. I think they've known how this stuff works. This should be a good port job. I'll do this. I got one done. It took an hour. My grinding stone started off as a cylinder, and now it's like a cone shape. I used one stone, then switched to this larger diameter stone, which now I know that's the one I want, because the diameter that matches, just by chance, it matches the radiuses of these curves in the corners. Sorry, let me show you. These corners, that grinding stone matches perfectly. So I just, and it takes a while though, because there's a lot of cast iron to remove. So that's what's going on. This has got to be done 5 more times, and I'm done. So it should be it's a port match job. I'm not going to touch the bowl area. I was thinking about blending it in. That's a whole nother thing. It should just blend in the way it is and improve the flow. It's not a technically full port job. It's just gasket matching porting is what it's called. So you need just one of these kind of tools, a Dremel or other brand, and I use cylinder stones because it helps increase the large cylinder stones that are available, because the surface speed of the stone, RPM given constant at say high setting, the larger stone gives you a higher surface speed or linear velocity, and that improves the cutting. But it takes a while because it takes more than the intakes did. I wonder if it's because these ports were exposed to exhaust gas and the irons hardened, because it really took a while to get it to cut them out. So they cut slower than the intakes, that's for sure. So anyway, but 5 more times I'm done. Then it's going to the head shop for valves, cleaning, expansion plugs, surfacing the surface so it's nice and flat, valve guides probably, and I've got all the parts I got coming, umbrella seals, new valves. I got my new bolts for the rock arms, because that one Mickey Mouse bolt I got factory kind of replacements, and then it just goes bare like this though. No rocker arms, no valves. He'll put the valves in with the new springs, retainers, and the new seals. Those parts the shop will put in. So that's how it is. And the valve guides. It's already got replacement guides, it looks like, sleeved guides, so I'll punch those out and put new ones in that have the right diameter for the new valves. They'll be standard diameter. So you could do it where if valves are worn, you can use them again if they're polished, and they put the sleeves in those guides that are a smaller diameter, like by about 1 to 3 thousandths, whatever the wear of the valve is. You can sleeve that hole so that the clearance is correct for the worn valve. But since there'll be new valves, those will just punch out, and then it'll get sleeves that are standard. Because the original, it looks like the reason you put those sleeves in the original cast iron hole bore is worn out, and they sleeved them. So those will come out, new standard size sleeves for regular standard valves without oversized. And this thing should be oil burning free with new pistons, rings, valves. It should be a tight engine with good low leakage and that kind of thing. So anyway, that's it for this episode. And next is about the varnish on the lifters, how bad that can get. Bye-bye.